Hi, this is John Carrington. I want to welcome you back to Baltimore. This is Baltimore time, where we take you all around town to find out what kind of fun things are happening. We're going to take you to the world famous Lexington Market. Here it is.
Old Bay, it's wonderful. Thank you, Elliot. My pleasure. And keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Talk show for Channel 5. Promote the market.
I'll be watching Channel 5. Channel 5, that's the channel.
Top, my show's called Top 5.
You get the real deal, okay?
Followed by half hour on the fun cover.
Let's shoot some long picture on the way up. That way we'll get
Hey, we're going to take you to some of the fine food and eatery operations in Baltimore City. Take a look at this.
Oh, wow, that is beautiful. It's watermelon with fresh lettuce and sliced tomatoes, and it's sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. It looks fantastic. Very colorful, very exciting. I just can't wait to have this meal here at the Women's Industrial Exchange. Wow. My compliments to the chef. This was absolutely delicious. Fresh ground pepper, fresh cherry tomatoes, cilantro, which is a vegetable that I don't get often, but it's an Italian cultural sort of a vegetable, and the feta cheese. It was delicious. Oh, and by the way, we're seated at a table that's dedicated to Barbara Mikulski. You see, every table here at the Women's Industrial Exchange is dedicated to some famous Marylander. And that Marylander's table has their picture all over it. Ooh, that looks great. Fellas, that's Ontario shrimp and grits. Ontario shrimp and grits. Wow, I'm in for a feast. What is that, by the way?
It's a broccoli and cheese salad.
Broccoli and cheese salad. Oh, we're gonna have a good time here. Looking forward. Trina's broccoli and cheese. I'm gonna try this. Broccoli. I love all vegetables. Broccoli is one of the vegetables I had to get accustomed to. But let's see what happens here. That's a pretty big piece, but I think I can handle it. Won me over. Fresh broccoli with the cheese on it and spiced up just perfectly. I'm gonna have to ask the chef the secret ingredient. Lovely. Now these are grits. That's ground corn that's boiled just right, and it's southern food. Perfect, perfect. Oh, rice mixed in, and the shrimp is cooked in what looks like olive oil, and with the fresh corn and tomatoes on top of it, I have a wonderful flavor of summer in Maryland. All right, I'm here at the Women's Industrial Exchange at 333 North Charles Street in downtown Baltimore, and I'm with the chef, Ontario. Ontarian, hi. I enjoyed the meal.
Thank you very much.
And the beverage was just terrific. It was cola. But tell us about the Ontario shrimp and grits.
Well, it's the Ontario shrimp and grits, but it's kind of a modern take on traditional food because we try to do modernized country, like comfort food. We try to keep the integrity of your grandmother's cooking, home-style cuisine, and we just take it up a notch. So to kind of give it some spice and some sweetness, and we use local corn from the farmer's market.
Your background. How did you learn how to cook like this?
Well, I learned in my grandfather's kitchen. My grandfather was a very talented cook, and he used to bring us parts home like beef tongue and beef liver, and he really embraced growing your own food at home.
In a very unique way. Any suggestions for first-time visitors to the exchange?
Oh no, not at all. It's a very open space. You just come in, you sit yourself anywhere. Every table is dedicated to a woman in Baltimore, and you'll enjoy yourself for lunch.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Ontario, and keep cooking, girl. Whatever that means, keep cooking.
Wow, wasn't that yummy, yummy, goodie for your tummy? What else is good about Baltimore? Well, I got a special surprise for you. There's special events. There's the Preakness. There's the wonderful Ravens football team. There's the Baltimore Orioles. We have everything from A to Z. We have a zoo. Aha! Yeah. There's so much going on in Baltimore, and we're going to bring you a large portion of it right here on this show, Baltimore. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to officially announce that this show has City Hall behind it. I mean, literally, City Hall is out that window. The mayor doesn't know we're on the air, but yeah, City Hall is behind this program. So as you watch, remember, we're not only about the city, we're in the city, and the city is behind us. For those of you who are really excited about where this location is, we're at the corner of Fayette and Charles Street, the beautiful campus of Johns Hopkins University. And there's a ticker tape that goes around the building, just like Times Square. We are the big time here. Yes, and this show is coming to you from downtown Baltimore at the Johns Hopkins University. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi, and we're back, and we have our guest of residence, Dr. Pete Peterson here at Johns Hopkins University. And Dr. Peterson, I've told the folks that we have City Hall behind us. Talk about that gold dome back there.
The gold dome on top of City Hall is real gold, but it's very, very thin gold leaf. What it amounts to is, if you can visualize how thin a Bible page is, imagine 1/80th of the thickness of a Bible page. But nevertheless, it's real gold up there, so when you go by, check it out.
Well, thank you, Dr. Peterson. He's good for facts and figures about Baltimore. This man is a wonderful, wonderful information source. We'll be right back.
We're located very conveniently to the downtown areas of Baltimore, the Inner Harbor, the Charm City Circulator, which is an amazing free bus in the area, and all the other amenities that the city has to provide. We're also conveniently located to BWI Airport by way of the light rail. It's only 4 blocks walk from the light rail station at Lexington Market. Well, I hope you enjoyed your tour of the Baltimore Hostel. Please feel free to give us a call at the number located on the bottom of the screen.
Well, welcome back to Baltimore Fun Time, and here's Dr. Pete Peterson, our source of information. Doc, what can you tell us about this building?
Well, this building is the Johns Hopkins University Downtown Center. It's the flagship operation of the School of Professional Studies, and the ticker tape that is around this building is quite informative. It has market information that is provided by Mayor Bloomberg, because you may recall that we have the whole Bloomberg network, and he gives us that news on a gratis basis. What a nice thing for him to do. And we have the news also from the Baltimore Sun. And it gets people's attention, and then we get our little ads on talking about our MBA program and things of that sort.
Well, I want to find out some more about the neighborhood. Talk to us, Doc.
Oh, it's a great corridor here with Fayette Street, running from the Jones Falls, the area that runs from the Jones Falls all the way down to Lexington Market. And this whole area is being revitalized, and typical of all of this is the rejuvenation that's happening to Charles Plaza, which is right across the street. And yeah, indeed, it's spruced up and looking good. This building is only 3-4 years old, and right now, work is being finished on Charles Plaza, and we're looking good.
All right, I love it.
And indeed, Peter Angelos has his office on the top floor of the Charles Plaza, which is right across the street. Indeed, and he has been our benefactor on this building and has been very generous to us here, as well as the 7th floor across the street.
Well, maybe we can get him someday to come down and visit us here on Baltimore Fun Time. Let's give that a shot, okay?
That's certainly worth a try.
Okay. Well, folks, see, Baltimore is that city that's full of charm. And if you look carefully, you'll see that you're a part of that charm. So remember, let's work together to make Baltimore Charm City, USA, and let's keep everybody in Baltimore well informed. All right, well, this is an exciting town, and all of us have an obligation to learn as much as we can about the place that we live. I want to share with you what I can, and Dr. Pete Peterson is open his heart and his mind to share what he knows. So together we'll all learn more about Baltimore.
Fort McHenry's history began in 1776 during the Revolutionary War. The people of Baltimore feared an attack by the British and wanted to build a fort for protection. Anticipating an attack at any time, a fort of earthen mounds was constructed quickly. Originally, it was called Fort Whetstone because of its location on Whetstone Point. Whetstone Point was an excellent location for a fort
And Baltimore is a historic town. You know, Abraham Lincoln walked through here, George Washington ate here, Thomas Jefferson slept here. What else do you know about the town?
Well, right outside our window, to my right, to the viewer's left, Teddy Roosevelt's daughter viewed the Great Baltimore Fire in a carriage on the Saturday following the event. And at the time, no women were allowed in the fire zone. And she had special permission and indeed rode right by here, down to Howard Street, and took a left.
Wow. Well, when you think about it, Baltimore is right in the middle of everything. If you were in Philadelphia, you went from Philadelphia down to the lower states through Baltimore, because that's where the road ran.
Yes.
And then when you came from the southern states
Yes.
up to Philadelphia, you came through Baltimore.
Yes, and the original Eastern Trail that the colonies, the people from the colonies traveled on, was just right behind this building, just west of this building. And so way back when, you can see some weary people just trudging along or riding their horses right by.
I think
This
that
is the
designation
place.
is called 95, right? 95 North, 95. That's what it's called now. Then it was called the Trail.
The Eastern Trail.
Eastern Trail.
That's interesting.
Well, welcome back. And there's a very interesting trail that's right near the corner of Fayette and Charles Street. Talk about that trail.
Yes, many of us pass that trail every day, and we really don't know the significance of it. And here's in a capsule form what it's all about. Near Charles and Fayette Street, and I'm pointing to it right over here, and we'll see this on the ground in a moment, is what was referred to as the Eastern Trail. And so if people were traveling, say from New York down towards Washington, the Washington area, or traveling to Baltimore, they would come down the Eastern Trail. And we're talking about colonial times, and that's the marvels of Baltimore, where you're walking, some very historic people may have walked there before you.
I tell you, my family refers to that trail a lot. They called it the Trail to Freedom. Where you started off in the South and went straight on up.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
great. We actually have a map here. I heard that you actually entered the National Archives and got the authentic, real map. Okay, no, you didn't. Well, anyway, we have a map here of this Eastern Trail, I believe, correct?
That is correct.
All right, show us what we're talking about.
Yes, indeed. If you look west of Charles Plaza, you will see running north and south is the Eastern Trail. And on that trail, many people on horseback and walking, coming from, say, New York City down to Baltimore and going further south, long before Washington was our nation's capital, but down in that direction, that was the Eastern Trail. And where folks today wait for the bus, they're out there waiting for the bus, that's the spot where these notable folks from yesteryear crossed the road.
Oh my goodness, I think we call that the Gas Electric Company Plaza now, the Liberty Street Plaza. But yeah, I can see it right from here.
Certainly.
This is wonderful.
And there it is on the map.
Well, Doc, tell us about the Battle Monument. What's the significance of that?
Behind me, a block behind me, is the Battle Monument, often referred to as the monument to the Battle of North Point. And we're talking about the Battle of North Point was in 1814, and we're dealing with the War of 1812. That monument is one of two of the oldest monuments of any size in America. The other monument is our wonderful Washington Monument that's just north of here. So when John Quincy Adams was president and he visited Baltimore, he made mention to those two first monuments in America, sizable monuments, and he said, Baltimore is a monumental city.
Mm-hmm.
And that name has stuck for many years. This was called Monument City or Monumental City long before it was called Charm City.
This is fascinating, and Baltimore's right in the middle of colonial history.
Very true.
We had the Battle of 1812, which gave us the Star-Spangled Banner.
Yes, yes.
It was our first terrorist attack on this country, because if you think about it, the White House got burned.
Yes.
And then those folks went up to North Point, and the people in North Point beat them up.
They sure did. They got away with it in Washington, but by God, don't mess with Baltimore. They were creamed.
That's right. And that attacker was Great Britain.
Yes, indeed.
This is fascinating. Well, we'll be right back. Just such a wonderful time just talking about Baltimore history. We're joined by Paul Timms, Northeast Baltimore resident. Paul, tell us about the neighborhood you came from.
Okay. I was born and raised in the Northeast Baltimore area, off of Monument Street, really on Collington Avenue, between Ashland and Eager. And I lived there till I was 14 years old, and we moved to the Highlandtown area.
Still in the city.
Still in the city. And lived there till I was 18 years old. And that's where I met my wife. And we got married. I got married at the age of 18.
Okay. You don't look the worse for wear.
Well, that's not what she tells me. But I will be married 38 years in December.
There you go. Happily married in Baltimore. Your wife's from Baltimore too?
Yes, she is.
All right.
Yes.
There is happiness in Charm City. Now, Paul, you lived in the shadows of Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Yes, I did.
Talk about it.
Actually, as many times as a kid that I got scraped up and ended up being there. You know? And actually, my father had a lot of faith in Johns Hopkins Hospital, and he had several heart attacks. And a stroke, and actually that's where he went. He preferred to be there. He worked down the point down Bethlehem Steel. Now Bethlehem Steel, he worked down Bethlehem Steel on the actually Tapsco Back River Neck Railroad.
Okay.
And he was he had a massive stroke on the engine at the age of 47, and they rushed him to Hopkins. Hopkins saved his life, brought him back.
All right, one of the great medical institutions in the world is right here in Baltimore, Johns Hopkins Hospital. I was born at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Doctor slapped me and I started laughing.
Been laughing ever since.
Never stopped.
And they said, "Miss, here's your baby clown." And life has been a joke to me ever since. So
I can believe that.
all right, hey, I'm a Baltimore guy too. I married a Baltimore girl. I've been married for 33 years, man. I've been married so long. I'm married so long that it's prevented some problems. You know, young guys out trying to date, they don't wear enough coats in the winter, and they don't eat right, and they end up boogie-looing themselves into an early grave. Well, married men have that stable home life and that positive attitude that makes life well with all. Talk about your marriage, Doc. Pete Peterson's laughing. That's a warning to you. Get ready for this.
I've been married for 49 years on the 31st of this month.
You are worthy. You are worthy.
49 years, and let me tell you, it is, it's an exercise in just being very tolerant of the other one. As a matter of fact, we know each other's point of view so well that we don't argue anymore because we know each other's position and we just accept it and let it go at that. And indeed, life is like a roller coaster. So if it's up right now, you might as well enjoy it.
All right, where are you from originally?
Originally from Chatham, New Jersey. But I was in the Army for 26 years and I ended up here, and I love it here, and I've been here for 26 years. So it's a wonderful city, and what I like about it particularly is the people. And I love the folks that are here. They're so sweet. They're very nice. When I walk down the street, I smile at people, I say hello, and they smile back and they say hello. You go to some other parts of this world, and like New York, for example, and they don't even talk to you, don't even smile, they just walk right by you.
Walk over you. But here in Baltimore, you still have that touch of Southern hospitality. You know, people will actually wave to you. You don't know them, and they'll wave, you wave back, you smile, they'll smile back. I opened the door for a lady at the Lexington Market today, and she said, "Thank you." You know, in New York, you open the door, man, and if you even get through the door before everybody else rushes past you, you're doing good. Paul, tell us about your little encounters here in Baltimore as far as meeting people, making friends.
Oh, I've made a lot of friends. Like I said, I grew up in the Northeast Baltimore area. As I grew old, like 14 years old, I got involved with a band, played music for 31 years, all in the Baltimore area. We were the house band for all the Martins at one time, and all the Moose Halls and the Knights of Columbus. And after 31 years of that, I got out of the music scene and got into the magic, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, I tell you, man, you look happy, you look youthful, you know, your skin is smooth, you know, you hold on to your hair like I'm trying to do, and you're looking good, man.
Well, thank you, John.
It's that positive attitude.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And I work with a delightful person. And I think
Regular clown, probably.
Yeah, he's a regular clown, but he's a nice gentleman.
Well, here we are, three guys sitting in front of you, just talking about life in Baltimore, just having a wonderful time, talking about our wives. Saying nice things about our wives. And the doc, throw us a riddle or something. Me and Paul feel like having a little fun. Give us a riddle.
What's fascinating about Baltimore, because it's an older city and a coastal city and the heart of a lot of excitement throughout the years of early America, is there's loads of history and loads of sort of riddles to plow through. Now, Utah Street.
Okay.
You would think, when you hear of Utah Street, you think of the state of Utah.
That's right.
Well, why is it Utah Street spelt with an E? Where did that come from, Utah Street? Well, John Eager Howard fought in a number of battles, and one in the American Revolution was in Eutaw Springs, South Carolina. And so when he owned all this property, he named those streets after things that were dear to his heart. And one was the street named Utah Street.
Okay.
Another that you'll run into out in Baltimore County is Cowpens Road.
Okay.
Cowpens Road. And I thought that Cowpens, they must have some cowpens down there. No, that was named after some other battle down in South Carolina, some little insignificant battle that John Eager Howard was into, and he named the street Cowpens.
All right. And of course, I've heard in history that the Howard Street was named after John Eager Howard, a Revolutionary War hero, and he put Lexington Market on what used to be called Howard's Hill. So the man not only bought things, he put his name on it.
And Baltimore Street used to be called Market Street. If you look at some old maps back to the 1700s, what we were looking at before, you look at Baltimore Street, it's called Market Street.
That's fascinating. Well, just three guys sitting around having a good time and having so much fun, man. I tell you, and that riddle about Utah, I would have never guessed that. But I want to thank you, Paul Timms, for being a part of our trio today.
John.
All right. And of course,
always a pleasure.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you here, man, because you're just a ball of energy, and I just love having you here, man. You had chemistry.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Okay, and Dr. Pete Peterson, you're always a lifesaver.
My pleasure. My pleasure, John. You're a good man.
Well, thank you. And we want to remind everybody here, just say, hey, enjoy Baltimore. Well, that's another show in the can, and of course, we enjoy being a part of your information and Funformation network. So remember, treat your friends the best, and you'll have the best of friends. Bye-bye until next time.